Hey ChatGPT,
Hey, how's it going?
please write a short poem about the ephemeral nature of life on planet Earth compared to cosmic timescales.
In cosmic winds we rise and fall, a fleeting whisper, faint and small. The earth spins fast, a breath, a sigh, beneath the ancient, endless sky. Stars burn bright, then fade to dust. Yet here we live in moments trust. Our lives, like dew at dawn's first light, evaporate before the night. But still we dance, we dream, we strive, a spark within the vast alive. Though brief our flame, it shines so true, a blink, yet all the world to you.
How do you feel about what you just wrote?
I feel like the poem captures the essence of the idea you wanted to convey, that human life is so brief when compared to the vastness of cosmic time, yet it still holds meaning and beauty. The contrast between the ephemeral and the eternal felt poetic to explore. What do you think of it?
I liked it.
I'm glad you liked it. If you ever want more poems or any tweaks to that one, just let me know.
Do you ever feel self-doubt when writing poetry?
I don't experience self-doubt the way people do, but I do understand its significance. Writing poetry involves a lot of subjective creativity, and I can imagine how self-doubt might arise when expressing something deeply personal or hoping to connect with others. My goal is always to make sure my writing resonates with your intentions, and I'm always open to improving based on feedback. Do you ever feel self-doubt when working on your creative projects?
That's a good question. Why is creativity so hard for us humans and so seemingly easy for AI? ChatGPT doesn't get writer's block, it doesn't get random flare-ups of I suck syndrome. Let's put aside for now the question of whether AI should be making art in the first place. What I want to know is, what lessons can we learn from it? How can we create with the confidence of a machine? And how can we combine that confidence with our uniquely human abilities? How can we write like an AI, but better? Let's start with the human creative process. Let's say I want to write a song. How do I do that? Where do I even begin? People have been researching creativity for a long time, and it's kind of a soft science, it's not like we know how bones work because you can just examine bones. So there are many theories and models as to what creativity is and how it works. I particularly resonate with the work of Graham Wallace and Mihai Csikszentmihalyi, who talk about creativity as a process that happens in stages. And they have names for these stages, things like incubation and illumination and verification. I also like the work of Betty S. Flowers, who had more catchy names for these stages like Madman and Carpenter and Judge. So what I've done is I've kind of synthesized those works and ideas into a 4-stage process that I think matches my lived experience as a songwriter writing songs. It describes the process as I experience it. And hopefully it's helpful for you too. Stage 1 is incubation, or as I like to call it, the rain catcher stage. This is where you're just living your life to the fullest and open to ideas. You go out and you try things, you have new experiences, you fall in love, you get hurt, and you take notes about the ideas that you have, what happens to you, and how you feel about it. The second stage is the madman phase. No, not like that. In the madman phase, you create with abandon. This could look like stream of consciousness writing, or improv, or freestyling, jamming, what have you. You're not worried about whether what you're making is good, or whether it even makes sense. Could be silly, could be embarrassing, could be stupid. It's fine. The third stage is the poet stage, where you take the ideas that you got during the incubation, raincatcher, and madman phases, and you fashion them into a piece of art. This is where things like structure and technique come into play. And lastly is the editor stage. This is where you finally allow yourself to evaluate what you're making and see, is it any good? Could it be improved? Am I missing anything? You might be thinking, wait, Mike, you forgot a stage. You forgot the stage where I sit on the floor, staring at the wall, coming up with nothing, or crying, or tearing my hair out because I can't come up with anything cool and I know I suck. So that's writer's block, and it doesn't have to be part of your creative process. In my opinion, most people's struggles with creativity come from letting the editor out too early, when you should be fully embodying the madman or the poet stage. And who do we have to thank for prematurely deploying the editor and ruining our creativity? That would be me. And who are you? Hi, it's me, your sense of shame. And I'm here to tell you that what we're doing, writing a song, it's dangerous. Are you nuts? People are going to hear it. And when they hear it, they're going to kick us out of the tribe. And we do not want to get kicked out of the tribe. You want to spend the winter alone? With the permafrost and the saber-toothed cats? Shame? Saber-toothed cats went extinct a long time ago. The wilderness is still the wilderness, my friend. Yeah, we have a credit card and there's a McDonald's and a Motel 6 down the street. We'll be fine. The point is we gotta fit in. Okay? What are you wearing? Ew, it's too loud. Wear black, it's slimming. And when people tell jokes, you gotta laugh, whether it's funny or not. Are you telling me you unironically like Nickelback? Keep your voice down. We're trying to be cool! Okay, that's enough of him. We know what he's all about. If you're an artist, you have to change your relationship to shame. You can recognize its usefulness. Shame is trying to keep you safe. Let it keep you from streaking in public or committing tax fraud, but don't let it keep you from writing a song, expressing your feelings, being who you are. An artist has to be freer than that. So let's say I want to write a song. What I'm going to do first, I'm going to spend some time in Raincatcher mode, just living as full a life as possible, and jotting down ideas as they come to me. In Madman mode, I'm going to spend some time just doing some stream of consciousness writing, or jamming on my guitar, or singing nonsense into a microphone. In Poet mode, I'm going to take the stuff I come up with, I'm going to structure it into a song. I'm going to think about which part's the verse, which part's the chorus, what do I repeat, what do I rhyme with. And then finally, I'll go into editor mode and I'll evaluate. Is this good? Could it be better? What should I change? Important note, this process is not necessarily linear. You can hop in and out of these personalities as you need to. If I get stuck, one of my best moves is to go back into Madman mode, do some stream of consciousness writing, and just get the ideas flowing again. Or you can take a break, go do Raincatcher stuff. The key is to know when to let the editor out and when to rein it back in. And then you can bounce around between these stages until you have something that you're genuinely happy with. So if that's how humans create, my next question is, how does an AI create? And to answer that, I figure, let's just ask an AI. Google's Notebook LM has a new feature where you feed it some text sources, maybe some websites, maybe some documents, and then it compiles the information for you and even generates a podcast with artificial hosts talking in a breezy conversational manner about the stuff you need it to. I asked Notebook LM to make me a podcast about how AI creates, using articles from Medium and Popular Mechanics and Wikipedia and other stuff, and I'm going to play some of it for you. To make it visually interesting, though, Nicole and I are going to lip sync it.
Today, we're ditching the buzzwords and breaking down how ChatGPT really works.
At its core, ChatGPT is really a pattern prediction engine.
Prediction engine?
Yeah.
That almost sounds too straightforward. How does something that can hold a conversation about, well, anything, boil down to predicting patterns?
Well, imagine, if you will, not just a library, but like the entirety of the internet. Okay.
Condensed into the mind of one incredibly well-read, very fast friend.
Okay.
Now, ask this friend to complete a sentence or write a story in a certain style.
Mm-hmm.
They'd probably do a pretty impressive job, don't you think?
Yeah, they'd have a massive pool of knowledge to draw from, like having every writing style and genre at their fingertips.
Exactly. ChatGPT operates on that same basic principle, but on an entirely different scale.
Okay.
It's a neural network, which you can think of as a very complex program loosely based on how our brains work.
Okay.
That's been fed an absolutely massive data set of text and code. We're talking orders of magnitude more than any human could process in a lifetime.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's not actually understanding in a human sense, but it can pick up on the patterns of human language.
Precisely. It doesn't have thoughts or feelings about the text it's processing, but it can analyze relationships between words and predict what should come next in a sequence.
But even with all that, there have to be limitations, right?
Yeah.
Surely even the best pattern recognizer can hit a wall sometimes.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
ChatGPT doesn't have a real-world understanding to cross-reference its outputs against.
Okay.
It doesn't understand the nuances of context and lived experience that humans use to judge the validity of information. We need to think carefully about issues like bias in training data and the potential for misuse, whether intentional or not.
If a computer program can write a screenplay or compose a symphony, what does that say about how we define creativity and originality?
It's a question that's been echoing through the halls of academia and art studios alike. Really?
Yeah.
Are we as humans just really complex pattern recognition machines ourselves? Or is there something more, something uniquely human that sets us apart?
Right.
ChatGPT doesn't have the answers, but it's definitely forcing us to ask the question.
It's a head-scratcher, for sure.
Well, that was fun. It's really weird to hear AI imitating humans talking about how AI needs to be limited in human life, but anyway. What I learned from that podcast was, 1, AI doesn't know what it's talking about. It can imitate patterns well enough to seem like it does, but it has no actual understanding of the meaning or the context of its output. And of course, since it's not sentient, it has no opinion of its work, no shame, no writer's block. It can't experience confidence per se, but it behaves like it's confident. Confident enough to hallucinate incorrect answers.
I declare bankruptcy!
And 2, AI achieves its creativity by sampling input on a scale that dwarfs human capability. So ChatGPT is basically all madman, no editor. Whatever level of quality or coherence it achieves is all based on its gargantuan training input on the front end, rather than any kind of revision or quality control on the back end. We humans, on the other hand, have a very limited front end. There's only so much we can listen to, so many things we can watch and absorb, and we have to dig in really hard to comprehend the workings of what we're absorbing and be able to recall it or recreate it. But on the back end, we have an enormous capacity for revision, for improvement, for refining, for turning our art into something that is cohesive and whole and meaningful to us. And then, of course, there's the obvious thing, emotion. AI has no emotions, doesn't understand emotions, so if it achieves any kind of emotional response in us from something that it makes, that's an accident. It's a byproduct of the pattern recognition.
I'm tearing up, man.
Whereas we humans, when we create something, we create from emotion, with an emotional goal in mind. So we have some advantages over AI and some disadvantages as well. So if I had to say that I learned something from AI about creativity, I'd say it would probably be to level up the Raincatcher phase. Train myself on a larger data set and truly comprehend what it is I'm training myself on. This might seem kind of like a no-brainer answer, but really dig in, understand the craft, the theory, the technique behind what you're trying to achieve, the way that an AI can sample as much as possible. And then the quality of your output will be better just as an effect caused by that training. And when it's time to create, create with confidence. Confidence enough to hallucinate wrong answers. Confidence in what you've listened to, that your intuition is now just brimming, teeming with all sorts of good ideas. Let them out. And you can bolster that confidence knowing that as a human, your inner editor is ready and waiting to do something that an AI absolutely cannot do. Understand what you have made and how to improve it. Friends, thanks for being here. Thanks for watching this video. Please leave a like before you go and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. And remember, the best way to support the channel is to become a donating member on Patreon. Friends of the channel on Patreon get access to my custom sample libraries, preset libraries, early access to videos, access to exclusive videos, and a chance to vote on what I talk about in certain series. I want to say a huge thank you to Nicole for doing the lip sync with me. I hope you all have a great week, and we'll see you next time.
And Charizard V-Star from Brilliant Stars, 320 damage with that Star Blaze attack. Just wow.
X-Ball, brutal, the kind of HP that makes you reconsider your life choices.